What's going on, guys? My name is Joe. You can find me everywhere online at Tattoo Theist. I promise to keep you informed, and so I'm going to continue to keep you informed. So we're going to watch a video from Reverend Caleb. We've all seen him by now, because honestly, this is more of a spectacle than it is anything else. And to be quite honest, there is a large part of me that thinks that he is just virtue signaling for clicks, that he is literally just trying to gain popularity. There is a big part of me that doesn't believe he's being genuine, meaning I don't necessarily believe that he believes the things that he's saying, because he's well educated. If you look into his background, he's been theologically educated. He's been biblically educated. So the stretches that you have to make and the lies that you have to tell to get where he gets theologically, biblically, they are so extreme that just logically, it's hard to believe that he believes it. But let's go ahead and watch this and then talk about it.
Drag is holy. There has been an assault on the rights of drag performers in this country, and we must call out the hypocrisy and the injustice.
Now, I want to pause it right there. Let's talk about what the word holy means. So I've got a couple of definitions for you. Belonging to, derived from, or associated with a divine power. In other words, sacred. Does drag as a performance, even if you want to call it an art, does the act of drag, the performance of drag, does it fit that definition in any way? No. Next definition, regarded with veneration or specified for a religious purpose. Does drag fit that definition? Absolutely not. Next one, living or undertaken with highly moral or spiritual purpose. Saintly. Does the performance art of drag fit that definition? The answer is obviously no. Now, what he just said, there has been no assault on drag performers. What there has been an assault on is drag performers pulling children into the performance. See, most adults, even on the right, even far right, Christian, non-Christian, whatever, most adults do not care if you do drag as an adult for adults. I myself, being a Christian, being a pastor, being somebody who's very conservative in values, I don't care. I could not care less if as an adult male, you like to go out Friday, Saturday night and perform in drag for other consenting adults. I don't care. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't think it's something people should be doing, but I could not care less because people as adults can do whatever they want to do. I have very liberal views in terms of things like that. So if we're being honest, there is no assault on drag performers. There is, however, an assault on the fact there are adults in drag, scantily dressed, performing sexual dances in front of children. That is what there is an assault on, as there should be. It's because the problem is we have grown men who have, and I want to be careful with my words due to YouTube, who have affinities for young children that are inappropriate and criminal, should be criminal at least. And that is what there is an assault on. The assault is on the depravity. The assault is on the degradation of childhood, on innocence. However, within the Christian community, there's no way to justify it because this is no different than strip clubs. Drag in and of itself, even as adults, if you are a Christian and you have a very specific set of values, you can't justify drag, whether children are involved or not, because these are sexual performances meant to be sexual in nature, and that goes against Christian values. Because as I said, that is no different than a strip club. There are plenty of strip clubs in states that don't allow women to take their clothes off completely, so they dance around in underwear. That is not a whole lot different, and in some cases, it's no different than drag performances. But let's continue.
Jesus called himself a mother hen longing to gather up her chicks. Gender is a construct, you see. And if Jesus can be a mother hen, then you can dress in drag. I've even heard it said that Jesus was, and humanity is, God in drag. So let me say this again for those of you in the back. Drag is holy.
See, and this is why there's such a large part of me that thinks this is just a ploy and that he's just trying to gain momentum on social media and things like that. Because the hypocrisy and the injustice that is required for a pastor or reverend, somebody who is biblically educated with degrees, who truly should at least know what they're talking about, the pure injustice that it requires for somebody in that position to teach a false gospel, to dilute the gospel of Christ, and to straight up pervert God's objective moral values and his word, that is such depravity that it is almost inconceivable. And this idea that Jesus being a mother hen, in illustration to someone being allowed specifically as a man of God to justify dressing in drag and doing drag performances, is literally by definition insane. And this bit right here specifically is so wildly insulting, not only to God, not only to Christ, but also to just all of humanity. I've even heard it said that Jesus was and humanity is God dressed in drag. I would love to hear, truly, I would love to hear how in his mind, biblically, he is justifying this concept, because it is, I mean, I've heard it all. And you can justify, albeit wrongly and inaccurately and untrue, but you can justify all sorts of wild ideas using scripture, because there's so much that is easily convoluted, is easily taken out of context, where you can at least sit back and be like, oh, I get why you're saying that, but this is why that's not true. But this is so wildly impossible to make sense of out of the Christian Bible that it is literal insanity. That's it. I just wanted to continue to keep you informed about what is going on, not just in culture, not just on the far left, not just in the secular world, but what is starting to happen more and more and more inside of the church. And the more we don't talk about this, and the more we let this just continue and scroll past it, the more we are going to see it. So when you see things like this, comment on them, share them with people, make sure other Christians that you know and the secular world, because you would be shocked how many people on Twitter who are not Christian will send me stuff like this. That's where I got this. And they're asking me like, yo, what is happening in the church? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question. So when you see these, send them to people. Make sure everyone you know is aware of the insanity that is in culture, but more specifically is in places within culture that should look different than culture. Love you guys.